If you look real high, you just might find sitting in the stars, glistening, glistening, waiting for the band.
Hey, what's up guys? I hope everybody's doing alright. In today's video, I'm going to be doing 50 random facts about myself. So let's get started. I'm going to start off with some pretty easy ones, some basic ones that are just came in my head right away. So, my name Adrian, I'm named after my dad. And in my family, I have a nickname, and it's 80, A-D-I-E, or just like the number 80. All my family calls me that. I think I hadn't been around them in a while, but I know like my immediate family and my cousins and my aunts and uncles, they all call me 80. I was born February 17th at 7:30 at night. That's really specific for y'all. I'm 30 years old. I'm from a small town in Texas called El Campo. I think there's around like 12,000, maybe 13, 14,000 people there. I don't know, but in El Campo, everybody knows your business. It's a really small town. Sometimes people might even know things about you that you don't even know. So it's really a small community. My favorite color is red. I don't know. I think in the past 2 videos I was wearing red. But I like red a lot. My first pet that I ever had, he was a dog. His name was Rambo. Whenever we first got him, oh man, I remember like whenever he was a puppy, I wanted him so bad. My mom was like, all right, well you can have him, but whenever he's crying at night, you got to get up and feed him and all this stuff. So first night, that dog was just crying and crying and crying. Anyways, when he got a little older, we had to tie him up, and we tied him up to a cinder block. Well, he got bigger and bigger, and he grew up, and then he was starting to drag the cinder block around the yard, so we had to end up tying him to a tree. And I am Mexican American, almost. I don't know. I really don't know exactly where like my family comes from, but I know that my family always resided in Texas. A little history lesson, I guess I could say, is that Texas used to be Mexico. And whenever the United States got Texas from Mexico, like my family just lived in the Texas area. So whenever Texas became Texas, my family just stayed where they were. That's as much as I know. I wish I knew a lot more, but I don't know that much more. My idol growing up was Michael Jordan. Not only because he's the greatest basketball player ever and that ever played, but he's also born on my birthday. So whenever I found out, I had liked him, and then when I found out that he was born on my birthday, my, I guess, infatuation with him just blew up. Whenever I was a toddler or a baby, I think I was a baby. But then I seen a picture of, I had something. Anyways, I had burned my hand on an iron. My mom, they were doing some ironing, and they had left the iron on. I guess it was on the floor. I don't really remember the story, but my dumb ass went and put my hand on the iron. And I think it was during Christmas, because I think that's what the story my mom had told me was around Christmas time, because I had a big old bandage around my hand for Christmas pictures. I also slipped my wrist. I don't know if you can see the scar or not, but it's right there. I slipped my wrist. I don't know how old I was, but there was some window panes sitting behind my uncle's garage, and a basketball had went through there, and so I went to go get it, and whenever I grabbed it and I was coming back, the glass slipped my wrist. Had to get stitches, and I've been scared of getting stitches ever since then, because the pain to numb the pain of the shot when they numb it, that's the worst. I got another funny story. I had busted my chin open one time, and I told my brother, hey, go inside and tell mom to get me a band-aid. And he's like, all right. So he ran inside. He's like, hey mom, 80 needs a band-aid. She's like, what for? Tell him to come in here. And I went in there, and apparently there was a chunk of meat coming out of my chin. My mom was like, oh no, you have to go get some stitches. I went crazy. I was running up and down the hallways. No, I don't want to go. I locked myself in the bathroom because I didn't want to go. On my mom's side, I was the first grandson to be born. So there was like, I don't know how many, I have so many cousins, but I don't know how many cousins were older than me that were girls. But I was spoiled. I was really spoiled by all my uncles. I remember I had just toys everywhere because I was the first grandson, so all the uncles just showered me in all the kinds of different presents. And it took me a long time to learn how to walk as well, because all my cousins that were girls that were older than me, they always wanted to carry me, so they were carrying me. I don't know how long it took me to walk. I hadn't asked my mom that. But I'm pretty sure it's past more than the normal amount of time before I started walking. It took me a while because everybody carried me around. So when I was born until I was 10 years old, I lived in a trailer behind my grandparents' house. Those were some fun times actually, because my grandpa, he had a farm, well, kind of a farm. He had some chickens and a few cows, I think, and I would go with him and feed the chickens, and I would make rooster noises all the time with them. On Saturday mornings, I would go to my grandparents' house and just knocking, "Hey grandpa, come play some baseball with me." Every Saturday, never failed. I was always over there begging him to come outside, and he was usually eating breakfast, and he was like, "Hold on, I'll be out there in a little bit." Another funny story is quite embarrassing actually. So I didn't learn how to swim. I don't know how old I was, but it took me quite a while to learn how to swim. While I started taking these swimming lessons, me and my brother were taking these swimming lessons, and the people that were taking the lessons with us were like little kids, like younger than us. And one day, this girl that I had a crush on, she came to like watch her little cousin at the swimming lesson. I was so embarrassed because that was this big, I don't know, I don't think I was a teenager. I wasn't 13. I think it was between 10 and 12. But yeah, I was so embarrassed that this girl that I had a huge crush on, she showed up, and I was sitting there taking swimming lessons with all these little kids. Another random fact about me is that I was goody good in school, like all through primary school, high school. I only got in trouble twice. One was in 8th grade. My teacher asked me if I was clear, like if she was clear, and I was like crystal clear, and she's like, "Oh, you need to go to the office. You're being a smart aleck." So I got sent to the office for telling the teacher she was crystal clear. Then the second time I got in trouble, me and my friends, it was in high school, in my senior year, and the girls' softball team were in the playoffs, and we went to the game, and there was a rule that, you know, students weren't allowed to be without their shirts on and painting. Or well, me and two of my friends, we got away with it at the softball game, and then Monday morning, we got principal's letter saying that we need to go to the principal's office. The principal was like, "Y'all got one by us, you know, just like, better not do this again or y'all gonna get in a lot of trouble." But we snuck it by. In 7th grade, I used to dress like I was going to church every day. I used to wear khakis. I don't know what kind of shoes, I don't remember what shoes I had, but I used to wear khakis every day and a button-up shirt. I used to get dressed up every day. I have no idea why. My freshman year in high school was like the worst year I had ever experienced in all my school years. That was the year, it was my first year of high school. That really wasn't I really didn't care about being a freshman in high school. But then on top of that, that was the year I got braces on my teeth, and that was also a year that I took Accutane for my acne. So I was this little 14-year-old punk walking around with braces in his teeth, and Accutane, what Accutane does, it makes you break out, and it lowers your immune system. It does a lot of these horrible things before it works. So I broke out. I had pimples all over my face. At one time, my immune system was so low that I got this weird skin disease. I don't even know what it was, but it was like blisters were popping up everywhere, and I had to have huge band-aids because I couldn't, like, I was in athletics, so I couldn't like participate in anything unless I had everything covered up. It was bad. It was really bad. So I have this weird thing with my ankle, my right ankle. Every time I walk, every time I take a step, it clicks. It's like a snap every time. So like it would be really hard for me to either sneak away from somebody or try to sneak up on somebody, because once I take a little step, it just click, click. A bad habit of mine is that I bite my nails. It's horrible. I've done it my whole life. I stop occasionally, like every now and then I'm just like, alright, stop biting your nails, and then I don't bite my nails, and then one day I'll just bite one nail and I'm like, well, I messed that one up, and so then the habit just comes back, and it takes me, I don't know, another few months before I'm like, all right, stop. I really want to stop. I don't like the way my fingers look like this. I used to hate cats before we got Sookie. Like I didn't like them at all. In high school I played 3 different sports. I played football, basketball, and baseball. I was the backup quarterback for football. I really didn't even like football that much. I just played it because it kept me in shape for baseball, because baseball was my main priority. So that wasn't a big deal that I didn't get to play a lot in football. The road trips were fun. We got free food after games on road trips, and our team was good, so I didn't mind it. I really wanted to quit every year, but my baseball coach was like, it's gonna keep you in shape, man, just stay in football, you know, and I was like, whatever, so I just stayed. In basketball, I played like the wing, one of the guards on the wing. One coach for one of the teams that I played with, he was a teacher, and my dad's a high school teacher as well, so they went to this conference together, and the guy was like, oh, your son plays for Ocampo, right? And he was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I always tell, whenever your son's in the game, I always tell my players, make sure the Mexican don't shoot. Like, so I was the Mexican on the team. And I played baseball as well, like I said earlier. And in baseball I was a starting pitcher for 3 years. That was my favorite sport. That is my favorite sport. My first concert that I went to was Blink-182, Green Day, and Jimmy Eat World. Blink-182 was the headliner. My mom and dad took me and my brother to our first concert, and I don't know if my dad's ever been to, like, I guess a punk show before, but this dude was crowd surfing, and he went on top of my dad's head, and my dad just like slammed this dude to the ground, and I was like, what are you doing? He's like, he was on top of me. I was like, dude, you're supposed to just keep on passing him, you know, the dude was just crowd surfing. He was like, no, I don't do that. Oh, that was hilarious. And like, you could feel whenever that dude hit the ground, like you felt the thump. Like it was, that dude, he threw him down pretty hard. I met Lena on 6th Street in Austin, Texas after a night of drinking. She put me in a headlock and she was like, you better call me. Like, she gave me, okay, so my phone was dead and I was trying to get her number, so I told her to call my phone and leave her phone number and everything on my phone. Oh man. And she was like, my name is Lena with 2 eyes, not 1. And then she was like, you better call me back, you motherfucker. I called her the next day. I was so hungover and I was at work, and I was like, I'm gonna call this girl. And I called. Me and Lena's first place that we lived was in North Austin, and it was in a little area called Jollyville, and we lived in High Oaks. We thought that was pretty fun. Me and Lena have been married 3 years, well, about to be 3 years in April. We've known each other and been together for almost 5 years. Seems like I've known her for a long time. My first car that I ever got was when I turned 16, and I got a GMC Sierra truck. That was my favorite truck ever. I ended up wrecking that truck. So sad. So this is an embarrassing fact, but I cry super easily, like over anything. It's pretty pathetic, but I don't know why. Like whenever, I don't know when it started actually, because I never used to cry for anything at all. Like I just didn't, I don't know, I was like, I don't know what happened to me, but all of a sudden, I don't know whenever it started. I know it was in like maybe 22, 23 years old. I think that's whenever I started crying all the time for anything. It could be a movie, a commercial, a TV show, and it can be sad, it can be happy, it can be anything. I have no idea. I just cry. I think the year was 2007, and I used to straighten my hair. I had a flat iron. I used to straighten my hair every day. I was in, I guess, an emo phase, I guess. I used to have the little swipe over. School, I used to write letters to get out of class. So I had braces, so like that was an easy one to get, like, because once a month whenever you're supposed to go to get your braces tightened or changed out or something, so that was an easy one. So I'd always write, dear so-and-so, please excuse Adrian from this period because he has an orthodontist appointment. And then I'd sign my mom's name. I learned how to sign my mom's name. A random fact is that I wear contacts and glasses, but not at the same time. But I need glasses or contacts to be able to see, and I'm blind as a bat. It has to be this close to my face for me to be able to read anything. And I went to a historically black college university, Prairie View A&M, and I played baseball there. I was on a scholarship to play baseball. I was a starter there. I got a marketing degree from Prairie View, and the team that I played on, we won back-to-back championships. We could have had 3 in a row, but we lost a championship game that 3rd year. That was so sad. Whenever me and Lena first started dating, she only drank liquor, and I was taking her out on a date, and I went to this bar that I usually go to, and they have $5 pitchers. So I told her, what are you gonna drink? And she said something. I was like, well, you're gonna learn how to drink beer tonight because that's all I'm buying. And so I taught her how to drink some beer, and she's liked beer ever since. Whenever I was a senior in high school, me and a group of friends, we went to our high school baseball field late at night. I think it was a Friday or Saturday night, but we took a cooler beer out there and we just had a party around the pitcher's mound. And we had left some cigarette butts out there and some beer cans out there. And on Monday when we got to practice, nobody even noticed that there were cigarette butts and beer cans around the baseball field. That was fun, though. I don't think we even had to jump the fence. I think the fence was unlocked. I had my first beer when I was 16 or 17. I think it was 17. I don't know, but I remember that I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. And I think the first beer I drank was a Keystone Light, which is like the worst beer to start drinking with. It's the cheapest beer probably in America. I think so. Anyway, that's what I started off with. Didn't like it. I used to be able to drink, though. The alcohol in America is like 3.5%. I think that's the average. I don't know if that's true or not either, but I know the beers that I did drink were about 3.5%, and I used to be able to drink 3 beers and get a buzz, like feeling drunk. I wish it was that simple these days. So my first airplane experience was whenever me and Lena were moving here to Finland. I had never been on a plane before, and I have an itch to get on a plane. Like, I feel like going somewhere. I feel like traveling somewhere. So I have 3 tattoos. One of them is the state of Texas right here. Then I have a wedding band, and there's also Lena's name right there. And then I have, it's in one of my videos. I don't know what video it is, but let me see if I can show y'all. Then that one right there. And I have 2 piercings. Well, I don't know if you consider these individual, but I have my ears pierced and I have my labret pierced. Is that labret? Labret. And I have my labret pierced. I like to take long showers. Like, I use all the hot water usually. I don't know why. I just like it. Just like the hot water just being on your body and just feels so good. My favorite professional teams in sports are for football, for the NFL, is the Dallas Cowboys. Don't hate on me for liking the Cowboys. For basketball, my favorite team is the Chicago Bulls. Like I said earlier, my favorite player was Michael Jordan. And I like certain players now, but I don't like certain teams. So if there's a certain team that I would choose, it would be the Chicago Bulls. For the Major League Baseball team, my favorite team is the Houston Astros. That is the only team that me and my dad actually like that are the same. All the other teams, He likes all the Houston teams. I don't like all the Houston teams. The only team I like is the Houston Astros. In Texas, one of my jobs that I had was I used to manage a hat store called Lids. I don't know if any of the Finnish people ever heard about Lids, or I think there's Lids in America and I think there's Lids in Japan. Other than that, I don't think they're any other place. But I'm all selling some stuff. I was supposed to say, but they do have free shipping anywhere in the world. I'm sitting here trying to sell y'all hats. After I managed that store, I ended up leaving that job for some more money, and I went to go sell insurance for Progressive. I don't know if you ever seen any of the commercials for Progressive, but if you haven't, you should go check out Progressive Flow commercials. Some of them are pretty funny, some of them are pretty dumb. Whenever I was a little kid, my dream job, well, what I wanted to be when I grew up, was to be a professional baseball player. And as we can tell, that didn't happen. I have a Finnish driver's license. I just got that recently, actually. So our crazy cat, Suki, we named her after Suki, a Kyoshi warrior in the is it an anime? In the cartoon Avatar: The Last Airbender. And it was funny. So, like I said, I didn't like cats earlier. So Lena, one of Lena's friends, brought over a cat that she found on the side of the road, and it was pretty much dying. It was pretty much dead. Well, Lena was trying to like bring it back to life, and I was at work one day, and she calls me just crying. I didn't know what happened. I really didn't know what happened, but she was like, the cat died, the cat died. I don't know what to do. Like, Lena watched the cat die. Like, Lena saw the cat take its last breath. And I was like, man. I just told her, alright, find a cat and we'll get it. And so we got Suki. And then I don't know if it was the very next day or if it was that weekend, but this lady, we met her in a parking lot, and she was like, yeah, I got these cats over here, and she opened up the trunk, and I don't know, how many cats was there? 7?
8.
There was 8 cats all together. Suki was the runt, but we had one in one of the cats, because he just looked he looked really slow. He looked like he was, oh, and he had a mustache. So we asked her about that one, but she said that he had a heart murmur. So then we're like, that's gonna be a lot of taking him to the vet all the time, spending some money. I wanted a playful cat. Lena wanted a cuddly cat. One of the terms for us getting the cat was I was gonna be the one able to pick it. So out of all these 8 cats, all of them were like meow meow, looking at us, meow meow, and then there was this other one that was climbing upside down of the cage, and I was like, I want that one. And the lady was like, oh, she's the runt of the litter, she beats up all her brothers and sisters and all this stuff. So I was like, yeah, that's the one I want. And she's crazy. And in Japanese, Suki means love, and it doesn't really match up, but she's very lovable. Another random fact would be, well, I got my first cell phone whenever I was 16 years old, because that's whenever I got my car, and I needed to have it to like let my parents know where I was at. I always wanted a horse. Ever since I was a little kid, I always wanted a horse. My dad's dad, my grandpa, I don't know, I think it was for one of my birthdays, he called me, he's like, hey man, I got you a horse, come over here, I got you a horse. I'm like, oh yeah, so I was all excited going over there. This dude hands me a broom. It was like, here goes your horse, go play in the yard. Like, final fact about myself is that I miss being able to see my family whenever I want. Whenever I lived in the States, I would see my parents, I think every 2 weeks. I lived in Austin. I had an aunt and uncle that lived there. I have a huge family, like y'all know, but yeah, I just miss being able to just go see my family whenever I want. I really miss that. And that's it. Alright, well that's gonna wrap it up, guys. The 50 random facts about me. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to keep up with, my life. Let me know in the comments below what kind of videos you would like to see, or what you like watching on my channel, so that I know what to produce for y'all. So I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.